7 is corporate and legal structure. And here's the question we say: what's the minimum structure that you must have by law?
And people always ask, what about bylaws? What about incorporation? And this is my one-liner. By law, what's the minimum structure you have to have in your state? And some of you have structured your church by your denomination. Some of you have structured your church by tradition. Some of you have structured your church based on by things you've heard. But I say if the law only requires a few structures, then only have a few. You can always add later, but it's very hard to take away. So when you think about structure, you know, you can either structure your church for control or you can structure it for growth, but you can't do both. And so you've got to figure out what you're going to do. And I like to structure for growth. And growth usually has a small, fast, flexible type structure to it. Not one that doesn't lack accountability, not one that isn't approved by your state, but just be careful about your bylaws and your corporate structure so that you don't back yourself into a corner where your church is strangled because of the control.
We've talked with many churches that are 2-3 years down the road, and they can't maneuver. They're not fluid. They can't do what they want to do because they set up a structure right from the very beginning that controls it so airtight that it takes 4 or 5 different votes before they can decide to change the color of the carpet. So think about the structure and have the minimum that you can have by law. And